My name is Ashley. I live in Miami, Florida. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. When I was diagnosed, I was 38 years old. My parents still live in Maryland, and as well as my older brother, and my younger brother lives out in San Diego. I have many very close friends here in Florida that I would consider family, but my mom, who resides in Maryland, gratefully volunteered and rushed to come to Florida to be by my side as soon as my surgery started for my cancer. And at that time, I didn't know what treatments lay ahead, but immediately following a few surgeries, I had about 5.5 months of chemo, and I needed assistance and help with that as well. Cancer takes a toll on the person, definitely, who's going through it, but I think it's important to talk about the caregiver and the people around you as well who are helping you through this journey. There are many times that my mom would join me for follow-up doctor appointments and be in the room with me with my oncologist as she was delivering some pretty tough news. And I know it was hard for me to hear, but it was hard to see my mom hear that news as well. It did feel good to go through and know she was there with me the whole time. But I think it's very important to talk about the mental health of your caretaker or your caregiver as well throughout this journey, as it does take a huge mental and emotional toll.
I was shocked when I found out that you had cancer, Ashley. I would have never dreamt that that would happen to you at such a young age, especially since you had never had a mammogram before and you were so healthy and taking care of yourself. I think some of the challenges were trying to make sure that you were not in any pain and that you were stable. And one of the challenges was learning how to strip the drains that you had, and they taught me how to do that at the hospital, and doing things correctly, and just monitoring you. So I think those were the biggest challenges. The emotional toll was probably one of the hardest, because no one wants to see their daughter suffering or in pain and worried about her future. So what I did was, my daughter actually pushed me to go on walks after chemo. We would come back and she would say, let's have bone broth, and she would rest for an hour, and then we were on the walking path and we would walk 2 miles down to the inlet, and it was over 3 miles, the round trip, and that was very helpful for both of us. And then sitting on the beach, it helped us both. As a caretaker, I felt like I had a very good support system, because Ashley has 2 brothers who both came down, and my sons, I was so grateful that they both came down and helped her through chemo so that I could go back home to Maryland and just take a little bit of a break. And I had friends that called me, friends that sent get well wishes and kept up with me and texted with me. So there was a lot of communication with family and friends. And my husband, he came down with me, back home with me. And as a caregiver, I learned that I was stronger than I thought I was. I could do things I never thought I would do. I gained more confidence in my abilities. And I also learned how strong my daughter was, strong and courageous. I think the positive aspects were the time that my daughter and I spent together, just talking about different things in her childhood, my childhood. We got to know each other so well because I was down here for like 4 months. So we really bonded on many levels, talked about so many things, watched shows, read books. She always was my best friend, but became even more so like a female soulmate. And one night we went out, it was early in her treatment, and they had a full moon, and we went out there on the beach and sat there and watched. It was actually the April pink moon, full moon. It was beautiful. And we had 4th of July together on the beach. And we just really got together on a spiritual level and an emotional level. And it was so heartwarming. Honestly, I'm not sure anything could have prepared me for this, because I was learning as I went along and going to Ashley's doctor's appointments, sitting in with her, listening to the doctors, taking notes. But her doctors were outstanding, every single one of them. And I learned a lot about what it means to have breast cancer, what the journey is about. It's a long journey. I know that there were a couple times we came back from the hospital and we were both crying, and I'm trying to drive and we're both crying about, what's the future. But then together, we both overcame that, became more positive, and I'm a positive person, and so is Ashley. So we kept looking for the positives in everything, but nothing can really prepare you for this. I think if you're a cancer caregiver, it's about listening, giving hugs, giving back scratches, giving head scratches, saying the positive affirmations, it's going to be okay, we'll get through this together, I'm with you, and just be yourself and just give all the love you have to your patient.
I started off the new year in such a great place. I'm in remission, which is the best news ever. I did have a little setback due to the chemo treatment and the ongoing medications that I am on. My bone density isn't as strong as it should be, and I suffered a few fractures in my ankle, and I discovered that I needed surgery on it to repair last week. So my mom is actually back in town helping me through the next few weeks, because it's very different than going through chemo. I am very immobile right now, and small things like taking out the trash and putting away groceries is now difficult, only having one leg. Very disappointing when I found out I broke my ankle and I would need surgery, because I was really looking forward to seeing my family and my nephews this holiday weekend, and it's almost a year to the day that I had my mastectomy, and it just feels a little like Groundhog Day. So it's been really nice to have her here and have the additional support, because a setback after going through so many surgeries last year it's been tough. If you enjoyed this video, please like or comment below, and please subscribe. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions for my mom, please also list them down in the comments. She's free to give any tips or helpful advice for what helped her being my primary caregiver throughout my breast cancer journey. Until next time, I hope you all stay healthy and happy.